Welcome to my channel. DubaiMix. Be inspired. Be an inspiration. Amazing ancient wonders. Treasures that is off limits to visitors. The world is rich in ancient wonders, but unfortunately, many of these cultural treasures are not allowed entry to international visitors for reasons like hard-to-reach geographical locations, or poses imminent danger due to areas of conflict or unstable structural location, or due to preservation/restoration activities being undertaken. Here you will see some centuries-old treasures you might not be able to see in their natural locations. Number 1. Palmyra, Syria. These archaeological treasure is sadly and intentionally damaged due to Syria's ongoing war. The ruins of the ancient city of Palmyra can be seen from the Syrian desert, inside the war-ravaged Homs province. When Islamic State fundamentalists occupied the historic Silk Road hub twice, this area has been off-limits. Among the wonders destroyed was the temple of Mesopotamian god Bel and the Arch of Victory. Known to have existed from 1st to 2nd century, this desert city's art and architecture depicts the traditions of several civilizations, exhibiting the union of Greco-Roman styles and designs with local traditions and Persian influences. Noted to be a wealthy caravan oasis, the settlement was under Roman control by middle of 1st century AD, regarded as a powerful center city connecting the east with the Mediterranean. Reconstruction of Palmyra is still on hold while war is going on. Number 2. Krakte Chevalier, Syria. Exhibiting strong defenses and non-penetrable position, this colossal hilltop castle is one of the finest Crusader castles still existing, together with its neighboring medieval fortress, the much more damaged Qalat Salah el-Din, forms as one of Syria's 6 World Heritage Cultural Sites, listed under UNESCO's Most Endangered list. Originally built for the Emir of Aleppo in 1031, Krakte Chevalier was later occupied and was covered by the military order of the Hospitalier Order of St. John of Jerusalem, as the Crusader forces fought with Muslim armies of the region. The mighty limestone structure was occupied by anti-government forces several years ago and suffered more damage. Number 3. Leptis Magna, Libya. The imposing ruins of Leptis Magna, on Libya's Mediterranean coast, is considered to be the finest remains of a Roman city in the world. Buried for centuries under the sand, it was said to be one of the most beautiful cities in the empire. However, its history can be traced back earlier in Phoenicians period around 7th century BC. Unfortunately, the site is strictly off-limits to international visitors because of the ongoing conflict and political instability. The UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, released an advisory against all travel to Libya since 2014. This beautiful harbor city reached its fame during the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, known to be the birthplace of a Roman emperor, Septimius Severus, who ordered the construction of larger structures that can still be seen here. Declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982 and added to its endangered list in 2016 along with Libya's 4 other UNESCO sites. Number 4. Sobrata, Libya. Famous for its big amphitheater, Sobrata was a Phoenician trading post rebuilt by the Romans in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. Making it an important trade center for the trans-Saharan caravan route. Besides the amphitheater, the ruins include many temples, a forum, part of a colonnade, water fountains and public baths. This treasure from the Roman Empire was declared as endangered by UNESCO in 2016, after the site suffered looting and further damage due to fighting between rival militias. Number 5. Semena, Turkey. Destroyed by a series of earthquakes during 2nd century, the remains of this Lycian civilization is totally off-limits to visitors today. Semena's incredible structures includes ornate tombs, rising above water level and can be seen from dry land. Much of the remains of the sunken ancient city lies beneath the surface of the uninhabited island of Kekova. Furthermore, diving and snorkeling are totally banned to protect the fragile ruins and had been categorized as a specially protected area, but some tour boats are allowed to pass by the area at a distance. Number 6. Sana'a, Yemen. Rising through a mountain valley, Yemen's capital Sana'a is one of the world's oldest cities, having been inhabited for more than 2,500 years. This UNESCO-listed old town is notable for its rammed earth-built tower houses with striking geometric patterns and high clay walls encircling numerous mosques, including the 7th century Jami al-Kabir, ancient palaces and baths. But due to the devastating war, governments from all over the world advised their citizens to stay away from Yemen. Much of the city's ancient buildings had been reduced to rubbles due to armed conflict in the country and left a devastating state of disrepair. The old town was placed on UNESCO's endangered list of World Heritage in 2015, citing serious damage to Al-Qasimi region, near the famous urban garden of Mikshaymat al-Qasimi. The 12th century Al-Mahdi Mosque was also destroyed. The majority of the colorful, decorated doors and window panes characteristic of the city's domestic architecture have been shattered or damaged, UNESCO said. Number 7. Balbach, Lebanon. The Phoenician city of Balbach, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of Lebanon's prime tourist attractions for many years, but visits is being disallowed to this area at present. Located close to the Syrian border, many governments warn their citizens against exploration in the impressive ruins, which holds extraordinary structures when the city was under Roman control during the 1st century. Named after Baal, the Phoenician deity, the site was named by the Romans in Greek, called Heliopolis, City of the Sun. The sprawling complex of colossal temples and well-preserved architectural structures is described as one of the most impressive testimonies of the Roman architecture during the imperial period as cited by UNESCO. This city is also one of the most celebrated sanctuaries of the ancient world, and the ruins of its mighty temple of Jupiter are among its most impressive but off-limits treasures. Number 8. Tigray, Ethiopia. Ethiopia's northern highland region of Tigray, near the Eritrea border, is home to numerous cultural and religious treasures, which recently had been the site of violence following clashes between Ethiopian and Eritrean forces. Home to UNESCO's archaeological site of Oxum, its remote rock-cut churches and monastery of Debre Damo, in picture, are at risk of destruction. In January 2021, it was reported that the isolated monastery, dating back to Aksumite times and 6th century reign of King Gebre Meskel, was ransacked. Number 9. Oxum, Ethiopia, capital of the ancient Aksumite kingdom. Oxum was said to be the birthplace of the biblical Queen of Sheba, who traveled to Jerusalem to visit King Solomon. Their son Menelik I allegedly brought the Ark of the Covenant, containing the stone tablets inscribed with the 10 Commandments, to the city where they remain. Now, said to lie hidden in the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in modern-day Oxum and guarded by Ethiopian Orthodox monks. The most sacred place for all Orthodox Ethiopians, the church was also the scene of a recent massacre. Number 10. Ciudad Pardeeta, Colombia. While there is a possibilities to visit the so-called Lost City, uncovered in the thick tropical forest on the northern slopes of Colombia's Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in 1970s, it is not for the faint-hearted. It is said to have been built by Tairona people 1,000 years ago, and getting to the remote archaeological site involves a 6-day hike through dangerous terrain and ends with a high-calorie burning climb to 1,200 steps up the ancient citadel carved into the mountainside. Known locally as Tiuna, the site can only be visited strictly with a licensed tour guide who will lead trekkers on a 27-mile, 43 kilometers, trek up mountains and across rivers, in an extremely hot and humid conditions. A group of tourists hiking to the Lost City were kidnapped in 2003, hence, it was declared off-limits, including some parts of Colombia due to crime and terrorism, but the Magdalena department is deemed safe for tourism, but there could be risks. Number 11. Agadez, Niger. Due to security reasons and political unrest, the many ancient wonders of Niger's city Agadez are off-limits to tourism. The FCDO issued an advisory against all but essential travel to Agadez, located on the southern edge of the Sahara Desert. This historic center dates back to the 15th and 16th centuries, home to the mud minaret of the Great Mosque of Agadez, making it the highest mud brick structure in the world. Number 12. Durban, Russia. Said to be 5,000 years old, Durban is also one of the oldest cities in the world. Located strategically between Caspian Sea and Caucasus Mountains, over the years, the city was occupied by Persians, Arabs, Turks, Mongols and now Russians. The impressive citadel of Narankala, which dates back to 6th century, is the city's most important historical structure. However, because of the ongoing turbulent conflict in the Russian Republic of Dagestan region, it is declared not safe for visitors. Number 13. Kibero, Turkey. The huge monumental structures of ancient Kibero in southwest Turkey's Burdur province, is seldom visited and not open to tourists. Exhibiting an incredible Medusa mosaic, discovered among the ruins of the ancient Greek and later Roman city in 2009, is one treasure that is off-limits. The delicate tiles were found in the Boulaterion, used as a courthouse, theater and parliament house, which remains covered for 9 months of each year to protect these structures from the elements. Number 14. Ashur, Iraq. First established during the 3rd millennium BC, the ancient city of Ashur is one of Iraq's many ancient treasures closed to international visitors for some time. It was an important center of trade and became the first capital of the Assyrian Empire between 14th to 9th century BC, also the religious capital of the Assyrians with their god Ashur and the burial place for its kings. Ashur was sacked by the Babylonians, but revived during the Parthian period in the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. Located near the modern-day city of Kalat Shirkat, Asher's excavated remains were added to UNESCO's endangered list in 2003, but now it's closed to tourists due to the construction of a dam that might have flooded its ruins. Besides, it is located in a highly volatile area. More recently, the site has been endangered by the Islamic State, with extremists wreaking havoc to Iraq's ancient archaeological and historical monuments, including the ancient Assyrian cities of Nineveh, the empire's oldest city, and Nimrod, which suffered major damage. Museum artifacts were also looted in Mosul. Number 15. Hadara, Iraq. The fortress city of Hadara, dating back to Parthian Empire to 3rd or 2nd century BC, was the capital of the First Arab Kingdom, known for its mighty walls and towers, which helped withstand 2 Roman invasions in the 2nd century AD. It has numerous temples and sculptures dedicated to gods including Apollo and Poseidon. This important archaeological site in northern Iraq was occupied by ISIS in 2015, with sledgehammers and guns, destroyed carvings and statues. Restoration work is undergoing now. Number 16. Timbuktu, Mali, a hub for Arab-African trade and an ancient center for Islamic learning. It established the world's earliest universities during the 12th century. Timbuktu has a wealth of historic and spiritual buildings. Founded by Tuareg nomads around AD 1100, the desert city flourished due to its trade of salt and gold. But today it is being threatened by the encroachment of the desert sands and armed conflict. After the 2012 military coup, Islamic fundamentalists destroyed some of Timbuktu's ancient mausoleums and manuscripts. The city in northern Mali is famous for its 3 magnificent mud and timber mosques, Djang Araber, Sankor and Sidi Yahya, symbolizing the former's glorious days, dating back to the 14th and 15th century, but their fragile earthen structures are currently being restored. Sadly, there is a nationwide state of emergency in place since 2015 and a high likelihood of terrorists' attacks. The FCDO advises against travel to most of Mali, including the Timbuktu region of which the ancient desert city is capital. Number 17. Lasgale, Somaliland. It is proper to mention this well-preserved rock art of Lasgale decorating several caves in Somaliland, is some of the best around Africa. There is an existing travel advisory against visiting Somalia and the self-declared independent Republic of Somaliland due to security risks. The age-old paintings are unlikely to get many international visitors in the near future. Ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 years old, the paintings done on rocky shelters depicting scenes of a pastoral lifestyle and animals such as giraffes that no longer inhabit the region. Number 17. Lasgale, Somaliland. It is proper to mention this well-preserved rock art of Lasgale decorating several caves in Somaliland, is some of the best around Africa. There is an existing travel advisory against visiting Somalia and the self-declared independent Republic of Somaliland due to security risks. The age-old paintings are unlikely to get many international visitors in the near future. Ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 years old, the paintings done on rocky shelters depicting scenes of a pastoral lifestyle and animals such as giraffes that no longer inhabit the region. Number 19. Abumena, Egypt. The archaeological site of Abumena, near Alexandria, holds the remains of an early Christian holy city, which was built over the tomb of Saint Manus of Alexandria, a martyr during the 3rd century. Unfortunately, the foundations of some of the great ruins and its buildings have collapsed due to a rise in the water level. The fragile site remains very unstable and was included in UNESCO's Endangered Heritage Sites list in 2001. Number 20. Ancient cities, Myanmar. Myanmar is in a state of emergency after the military took control of the country. The political instability puts its beautiful temples, palaces and historic monuments out of access for now. This includes the ancient Peace cities of Sri Kshetra, Halin and Bayathinno in the north, which were declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2014 and have some of the world's most ancient Buddhist temples. The Pyu dynasty was at its peak from 200 BC and AD 900. The 3 brick-walled and moated cities remain only partially excavated, but what has been uncovered includes the remains of palace citadels, burial grounds, water management features and monumental brick Buddhist stupas, such as the Payama Stupa at Sri Kshetra, pictured in the previous slide. The enormous ancient city, also known as Tayakitaya, lies just east of Paye and was the capital of the powerful Pyu Kingdom. Number 21. Maroway Pyramids, Sudan. Truth be told, Sudan has more ancient pyramids than Egypt, but very few people know about this. More so, get to visit these. Sudan has an extraordinary archive of royal burial chambers. Located on the east bank of the Nile, northeast on the capital Khartoum, are nearly 200 pyramids scattered among the dunes at Maroway, built by the rulers of the ancient Kushite kingdom, a major power in the ancient world from the 8th century BC to 4th century AD. These small but impressive monuments are inaccessible to tourists due to political instability and conflict in Sudan. Number 22. Naka, Sudan. Located west of Maroway, is the archaeological treasures of Naka, an ancient city that was part of the Kushite kingdom. Known for its well-preserved temples, Naka's key features are the Temple of Amun and the Temple of Apedemoc, or Lion Temple, which is prized as a classic example of Kushite architecture. It also has a Roman kiosk, in picture, lying just to the east of the Lion Temple, has pharaonic Egyptian, Hellenistic and Kushite influences in its architecture and decorative elements. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Be inspired. Be an inspiration.